Hey everybody, it's David Baer with Baer on Marketing. Thanks for jumping on today's webinar. And we're going to be talking about local traffic generation. Now, there are many different ways that I work with local traffic generation, and we'll talk about that range of things. Today, we're specifically going to be focusing on Facebook traffic generation and how that can bring your business, whether you're a solo entrepreneur, or a small business, or even an enterprise business, more leads, more sales, and ultimately more money. So let's dive in. Why don't we? We'll be talking just you have a sense today about traffic basics, and Facebook. And in subsequent webinars, we'll be discussing Google AdWords and YouTube and email marketing in more depth. But for today, we're going to really be focusing, as I said, on Facebook. So let's dive into internet traffic and why this is important. Statistically, as we're looking at the trajectory of current trends, by the year 2016, more than half of the dollars spent in the US are actually going to be influenced in one way or another by internet activity. People are becoming more and more informed by things that they're finding online. You know, this used to be in the old media world. The newspapers or the magazines or even television would influence our buying behavior. Outdoor advertising like billboards and bus stop ads, those sorts of things influenced purchasing in a much greater way than they do these days. We're finding far more activity online, and as a result, because that's where the eyeballs are, that's where people are being influenced about how they are spending their money. 1 in every 7 minutes is spent online on Facebook. It's crazy. Facebook is really where people spend time. I try to avoid it at all costs, but I still do it, and I think that's what most of us typically find ourselves trying not to do it, but we always just get sucked in if we are attached, connected to Facebook in some way. It's tough to avoid it. And then this one, 90%, 91% of experienced social marketers see improved website traffic due to social media campaigns, and 79% are generating more quality leads as a result. So we are finding that online internet traffic generation is really crucial, and so that's really the topic that we're going to be covering over this series of webinars. Now, let me just before we move on, talk a little bit about who I am and what I do. So first of all, thank you for joining me. I'm really excited to show you what I do here and how I can really take your business to the next level by implementing various traffic generation approaches for you. And I think that you're gonna find what I have to share of great value. My business is called Baer on Marketing, and basically I am a consultant providing businesses both locally and actually internationally. I have clients I work with via Google Hangouts and Skype as well, in other parts of the country, as well as up in Canada and even down in New Zealand. So I'm happy to engage with anybody who is looking for my services. Now, what I do is I help with various methods of traffic generation. Many times what I do, while many companies or small businesses like to outsource things, and I certainly can take on the role of doing your work for you in some respects. What I do more than that, and something that most marketing consultants and social media marketing consultants particularly don't do, is I empower you to do this stuff for yourself. I teach you the process, and then I am available to help tweak and fine-tune what you're doing. But everybody's cost conscious these days, and while I'm always happy to help, it's often within many of my clients' budgets to engage me as an advisor and to really empower them to do things themselves in an effective way. So that's what I do. I provide a range of services. Facebook, which we're talking about today, is simply one of them, and I also offer assistance in other social media areas, in email marketing, in sales funnel setups, and in messaging, and video production, many other things. So that's who I am, what I do, and as my tagline for my business, Baer on Marketing, says, marketing plus mindset equals money. So let's move on. Let's make sure that what we are doing today is keeping it simple. You all know this KISS, keep it simple, silly. Let's say today, and who knows if the kids are out there, and if their parents get upset if I say the other S word. Anyway, we need to keep it simple. People overcomplicate this stuff far too much, and that's not really helping anybody. So we're going to keep it simple. Basically, this is the formula. Okay, you want to create traffic. Traffic will result in more leads, which will result in more sales, which will result in more clients, which will result in more leads and more sales and more clients. And that's how social media, through social proof and other interactivity between you, your business, and the clients who are out there who are interacting with you in a public place, in a public way, help your business grow. It's that simple. So let's not make it more complicated than it needs to be. A little bit about traffic basics. Traffic really does not have to be complicated. In terms of how you set up traffic through social media and other online platforms, it's very basic. You spend $1 and you get $2 back, and that's it. That's how it works. You're really not focusing on quantity, but on quality. You want to really make sure that what you're doing is going to resonate and appeal to the audience out there you're trying to reach, and not that you're throwing dollars here and dollars there, and really getting overwhelmed in too many areas. And that really brings us to point number 2, to focus on one platform. So while I can help you with various platforms, what you really want to do is become an expert in one area and become dominant in that area. Facebook is, as you'll see shortly, perhaps for local businesses and businesses focusing on hitting a very specific demographic, one of the best places to actually do this. And number 3, and this is important, we can all study and learn and plan for years to come, but if we don't take action, we're actually not going to find the results. So take action. It's important. Now, there are hundreds and hundreds of traffic sources out there, various search engines, other methods of advertising online, and I use a lot of these things. I work through ebooks. I use a platform called Lead Impact. I do solo ads, a lot of these things. YouTube. I do webinars, clearly, because we're on one right now. I do Google Hangouts. But I find that in terms of targeting and generating the leads that I'm after, Facebook is perhaps my absolute favorite in terms of my ability to get the results I'm looking for. Now, the top 4 traffic sources, because Facebook is not the only one, and we'll focus on these others in subsequent webinars. But Facebook ads are really where it's at. I have the ability to learn so much about the target audience that I'm trying to reach, and then get those ads in front of the right eyeballs and not spend money on the wrong ones. And I can test very quickly and discover whether my money's being spent well or not. And that's what I appreciate about Facebook, is that they have mined so much data from so many of their users. It feels as a consumer like a personal invasion, but as a marketer, it's a gold mine. And that's really the perspective that we need to have if we are attempting to accomplish our goal, which is, again, leads, clients, and sales. So Facebook ads, Google AdWords is an outstanding way to generate traffic and attention. The problem with Google AdWords is that 10 years ago it was the place to go. Today it is super expensive, and as I sit down with some of my clients and we're looking around at their placement on Google AdWords and their competition, I had a guy who I was sitting down with the other day, and he said, "Please don't click that. That's going to cost me $18 if you do." Can you imagine that? $18. That's outrageous. Most of the high ticket keywords out there are very expensive, and so credit cards. That's a great example. Credit card marketing, where the major banks are competing for you to sign up for their credit cards. They, for every click on a Google AdWord, are paying somewhere between $7 and $14 per click. That doesn't mean you've signed up with them. That means per click to get you to jump over to their website where you can sign up, but you don't necessarily sign up. These are expensive. Now, expensive doesn't mean unnecessary. Again, if that client of mine who told me not to click that ad, who's paying $18 per ad, is selling something significantly more expensive than $18, well, maybe the return on investment is appropriate. But that said, Facebook ads versus Google AdWords, we're talking about pennies to the dollar here. YouTube is another place where I think people are not utilizing it well enough, and there are ways, you may or may not know this. I'm shocked at how many people are unaware that YouTube is actually owned by Google. They purchased it several years ago, and as a result, because it's a Google property, videos rank. It's Google's goal, rank really, really well on Google, and there are ways to get your YouTube videos positioned on the front page of Google in ways that you can never ever get your website ranked. And so marketing through YouTube is a potential gold mine for two reasons. One, traffic generation, and then also, and this is not the purpose of our conversation today, but also monetizing those videos. So let's say you put a video up there, you can also put ads on top of your video, and when people click those, you share in the proceeds with Google. So and then there's email marketing, and that really is part of these other three mechanisms, which is really that you capture the lead on the front end with Facebook or Google or YouTube or any of the other things we saw on the previous page, and then you utilize email marketing as the follow-up mechanism to continue the relationship. Now, let's jump along to the steps involved in any good campaign. Basically, there are three steps here, and again, I keep it simple. We want to look at the demographic. We want to know who our audience is we're trying to target. We want to be very specific about this. Most of small businesses, solo entrepreneurs, maybe they have an idea who they appeal to, but they're not targeted enough in any of their marketing. I had an insurance guy recently who I sat down with, and he told me that he had a range of anybody from the cradle to the grave was a potential prospect for him. And my response was, well, look, if you're targeting everybody, you're going to actually reach nobody. So we need to be more specific in our targeting, and that's something that I can help you with, sort of work through and figure out where the ideal target market is for you to be advertising, particularly when you are focusing on active online users, as we're talking about here. Then we want to figure out what the best platform is. Facebook is a great platform, but of course it's not for everybody, and so we want to see if there is a good fit for what you're marketing with the platform that we're considering. And then what's your offer, and how good is it, and when they see it, are they actually going to convert? Are they going to opt into the email list? Are they going to provide you their information to get more details on what it is you're offering, or are they going to take the plunge and buy it, right off the bat? And again, there is lots of research that shows that people are not going to make a purchase initially, and so what you want to do is that offer is really a front-end offer to capture their information and develop a relationship after that. So look, it all starts on Facebook with a fan page. And fan pages are not only important on Facebook, but if you are going to be utilizing Facebook as a marketing platform and a paid marketing platform, paid or unpaid, actually it doesn't matter, you need to have a fan page. And there are many businesses out there who, maybe they set up a fan page long ago and have neglected it, or they've never set up a fan page, and because they are a publicly listed not on the stock market, but they're listed as a company in some directory somewhere. Often Facebook will create by default a page, or fans of theirs will create a page, or an employee says they work there and a page is created because they have to by default create some destination for saying that so and so works here. So there are many companies, many small businesses that have fan pages which just have not been set up properly. And so this is step number one. Now let's move on to Facebook use. I told you Facebook was big, but I think these numbers are going to prove that out for us. We're looking at the hours spent by desktop users on various platforms, and basically what this represents is hours spent per person per month on these various platforms. Now, we're looking at, and I can't tell exactly what it is, but it's somewhere north of, somewhere between, 6 and 6.25 maybe, hours on Facebook. I'm actually shocked. That seems very low, but maybe the majority of the people are more disciplined than I am. 58% of people actually return daily to Facebook for at least some period of time. And 92%, and this has nothing to do with Facebook specifically, but 92% trust the word of mouth of friends and family. And where do you find that? Well, look, we're looking at Microsoft over on the right, then YouTube, then Google, and then Facebook. Facebook is, of all of these, the one place where family and friends congregate among these locations, and really the place where family and friends congregate anywhere online throughout the majority of society. Now, there's of course little niche sites and little other social platforms, but Facebook is the big one. All right. Let's get back to our pages, our fan pages. Here's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you are including really high quality content there. Not again. People don't deck out their pages. They also don't really consider what it is that they're throwing up on the pages in terms of content, and often it's not engaging. It's not visually engaging. It doesn't encourage people to participate or respond. So things like questions or surveys or competitions or giveaways or coupon offers for comments, those sorts of things will really engage an audience. And Facebook has been sneaky over the last several months. Ever since they went public, they now have to find ways to bring money in. And one of the ways that they're bringing money in is by rewarding pages that have true engagement among their fans by sharing that content. But pages which are not successful at engaging their fans, well, those guys have to pay. And you need to pay to get the engagement of the public. Now, you'll have to pay less and less over time, but basically it's a pay-to-play platform now. And again, of all of the places online, it's still a place worth paying, particularly if you're paying $1 and getting $2 back. And then let's talk about viral images, because the internet is really an image focused platform, and images are really crucial. I want to just use this as an example. Let's look at the power of what this image was able to do. It was posted on a fan page, and within just a few days, it basically went viral. It got over 8,700 comments, 808,973 likes, and it was seen by over 12 million people. Now, this is, I guess you could say this is powerful. I would say so. And this is really something that too few businesses are figuring out how to take advantage of. They're not including calls to action, and they're not including engaging visual imagery. So there are ways to identify what that engaging visual imagery is, where best to put it, and how best to get it moving, and those are things that I can help you with. Excuse me. Facebook ads. Let's move along to Facebook ads. Now, you cannot post Facebook ads without having a fan page that they're connected to. If you look at any ad on Facebook, you will see, whether it's a sponsored post or actually they don't do sponsored posts anymore. Sponsored stories they're not doing anymore. Sponsored posts they are still doing. But there is always a fan page connected to it, and so that's really, really crucial, because in addition to your ad, somebody can click on that fan page and identify your brand or your business name and learn more about you. And I do that all the time, because I want to know who's behind these ads. I'm going ahead and clicking on, not the ad, but on the affiliated fan page, because it tells me a lot more about what's behind that ad, and I'm shockingly disappointed to see what's out there. So just I get up on my high horse about this, but it's important for businesses to know. Facebook stats. Now, why you actually should be using Facebook ads? 70% of the people on Facebook have a 3 times greater return on an ad spend. So when they are engaging in commerce with you, they are making you more money than you're spending, basically. 49% have a 5-time greater return, okay, and 61% year over year. There's a growth in mobile usership, which is an important thing for us to know about where we are placing those ads. Currently, we are seeing it's somewhere between 70 and 75% of Facebook users are engaging on Facebook through some mobile device, whether it's a phone or a tablet. And if you are marketing through just the desktop platform, the news feed or the side ads, and we'll talk about those in a few minutes, and not using the mobile platform, well, you're missing out on over 70% of Facebook users. The problem with that is that if you are directing them to a place where there's in fact not a good mobile-friendly landing site, you're wasting your dollars. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that you actually have mobile-friendly website to bring them to, and then we can start connecting with that 70+% of mobile users. 600 million monthly active users on mobile. It's crazy. All right, so that's just some initial Facebook stats. Here's a little bit more. 1 billion active users. What is it? The third largest country in the world is Facebook. I'm not sure. Let's see. 3 trillion okay, I jumped the gun there, but 3,200,000,000 likes and comments every single day. And we probably won't be too far off from 3 trillion at some point too. Now, I talked about this earlier, but there is a 35% lower cost of conversion on Facebook than Google. And actually, my examples earlier of the $18 was probably a very high cost example. Most Google AdWords are considerably lower, and Facebook ads. If I saw an ad that cost somebody, more than $2 on Facebook, that's a very, very expensive ad on Facebook. And many marketers are able to, depending on the reach of the search, the specifics of the demographics and all of that, can keep clicks considerably lower. Well under 50 cents, and there are strategies for making it, cheaper than 20 cents per click. So, really, much higher return on investment when it comes to Facebook advertising, and you have the ability to reach very, very targeted audience. And the thing is, you can reach them wherever they are, because everybody's engaging with Facebook on all sorts of devices. So there you go. Ad strategy. Now, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but the importance of actually bringing them through a funnel, through a process. If you simply, have somebody click on your ad, and the ad says, Joe's Diner, get a $2.99 special lunch, every Tuesday, click here, and then it brings you to the Joe's Diner front page of their website, and there's absolutely no discussion of the $2.99. Well, you've lost the ability to convert them. So we actually need to have a well thought out specific funnel. And the funnel is really basically these three elements. First, you want to have some influence. You want to be able to position yourself, your business, in a place of authority and respect for the consumer. The next thing is to make a real connection with them and then get them to engage. So we are looking for these steps in the process before somebody becomes a customer. And our goal with this sort of marketing is not a one-off sale. It's the development of a relationship and ongoing customer or client, I should say, relationship. If you're treating them like a client, not just a customer, you're really it demonstrates that you have respect for an ongoing relationship with them. All right. Stories are huge. One of the best ways to carry out a Facebook ad campaign is to actually tell a story. You want to use vibrant images and compelling text together, and you want to make your audience, feel like they want to know more. One of the things that I find really fun in Facebook advertising is something called storyboarding, where over the course of several days, we're telling a story, and they are seeing it play out in front of them through a series of ads. So, in my world where I'm involved in launch marketing or we're getting people ready and anticipating an event happening, well, we want to lay that out over a couple of days or several days. And the idea here is that we are showing them little snippets, little ideas of something to come, and revealing it bit by bit. And we're telling a story through these ads. Now, the more targeted we are with that audience, the more frequently they're going to be seeing these ads. And for somebody to see, the first ad 6 or 7 times a day, and then the second ad 6 or 7 times a day, and then the third ad, which is the call to action ad, on the third or fourth day, that is really what we're talking about, that you want to develop a story and reveal it slowly over time. Now, the other way the other thing that this really does is it helps us learn and tweak our campaigns by doing these in very small segments and test them with a very, very targeted audience. And we can do this on a much smaller budget than almost on any other platform, because we can track all of this real time on Facebook, and that's great. All right, a few ad strategies. So Facebook gives you lots of different places to do your advertising. or I'm sorry, not places, but places to send your ads. So you can deal with either page post engagement. So say that you want to promote some interaction, some conversation, some responses to questions that you're putting out there. Well, that's what page post engagement is about. Page likes to really develop, demonstrate that you and your business has a following, the social proof that we're all craving in our businesses in order to attract other people. Clicks to websites is ultimately the place where I think most of us are wanting to go, because we want to get people off of Facebook. The flip side to that, of course, is that the clicks to website tend to be the most expensive ads. But again, we're thinking about ROI here, return on investment. Website conversions is very much the same thing as clicks to website. It's just tracking code goes onto your website so that we can find out the success rates of these campaigns in a much more thorough way. So, somebody clicks on the ad and we put a code after the shopping cart experience, so that we can actually track how many people went to your website and then how many of those people bought something. So that's what conversions is all about. And then there's apps, and you can put coupons or special offers and host events and all those other things. And that's the range of things that you can do. And we want to figure out exactly what is the strategy that we want to focus on, depending on what our outcome, our goal is in each of these campaigns that we're doing. All right, let's talk about the audience. Now what we want to do is really boil it down to these three things. We want to understand exactly what the demographic is that we're targeting. The next option is that we want to target people based on, so the first one is based on age and gender and things like that. The next one is based on their social engagement, what things that they're interested in. And then the third sort of targeting mechanism is to learn personal things about them. So the type of work environment they're in, or their marital status, or if they've recently moved. And these are all things that we can learn through Facebook in a way that, again, Google AdWords is great, but it's all based on people's keyword searches. Here, we can actually get more insight into the specific individual that we're trying to market to. All right. Ad essentials. I've talked about images already. I've talked about the audience, and I've talked about the offer. Call to action is probably the only thing that we haven't talked about, and I am shocked how many ads are out there, which basically are an image, maybe not a terribly engaging image, and it doesn't say anything. It doesn't say do this. And we'll see that on the next page. Let's take a look at some ad examples. So we won't be talking about mobile ads today. Mobile ads are very similar to newsfeed ads, and we'll look at those in a moment. But I do want to talk about ads here, and let's start with side ads. They are the lowest cost ads that you have on Facebook. They appear more frequently because there are several of them on the side, and they are changing on a regular, they're rotating on a regular basis, so people see them more often. You cannot have any interaction with them, so you cannot actually comment on them. And split testing. Split testing is something that is really important for us to understand what our audience is and is not responding to, and then fine tune our ads so that we are getting the biggest bang for the buck. Now let's just quickly look at these ads on the side. And you can, since I didn't open the chat here, you can just answer this to yourself today. But we got 3 ads here. Let's start looking at the bottom one. It says, jaw-dropping buildings. Architecture can amaze us in so many ways. Okay, and so as I'm looking closely at that picture, it's kind of interesting, it's kind of cool, but I'm really not sure what I'm supposed to do with this ad. And so my inclination is to do nothing. All right, cool image. but they're really not spending their dollars well here. Let's look at the middle one. And the middle one, it says Tiles. This is a UK company. Interesting. And it says, need tile supplier specialists? Try East Lancashire Tile Center. Okay, so now at least I know what they're trying to sell. They're doing a good thing. They're actually asking a question. So I can say, yes, I do need a tile supplier specialist. But it's still, there's no call to action. It's not telling me what to do. And that's okay. I think there's it could say click here to learn more or something like that. Now let's look at the top one. There's something different about this top one. This top one, first of all, it's telling me that there's a sale, so there's some incentive. It's showing me end of season clearance, save up to 50% on outdoor gear at Black's. Okay, another UK company. So I pulled these. I pulled these off of some stock. That's interesting. I grabbed some UK stuff instead of some US stuff. Interesting. Anyway, so the image here is, as you might have noticed, a little bit more engaging. Now it's not that there's some cool image here, but it's red and it's bold and it stands out. And I think that probably when we jump to this slide, it was the first thing that you saw on this page. There's a reason for that, and there's lessons to be learned here. And it's shocking how many advertisers don't think about what the impact of their ad, just the visual impact of their ad, will have. And so, just a quick lesson here on ways to work effectively when putting an ad together. All right, let's jump over to news feed ads. Now in this one, this is actually a suggested post based on somebody who liked this stuff. And again, look at that. I grabbed these from a colleague of mine who, now that I'm thinking about it, is UK based, and he shared these with me, and he said, "Hey, I have some slides that I can, or some images that I can send you for your slides," and of course they're all UK stuff, so that's hilarious. I hadn't even thought about that. Newsfeed, much larger image, so people see these as they're scrolling through, looking at what's going on with their friends. So you can have lots more dramatic stuff going on here. You also have the ability to include a lot more text, and you have the ability to have interaction. People can actually comment and share these, and in a way that they can't do the right side ads. So there's lots more opportunity here, and again, there are very specific tips and tricks on what you want to be including in different places on these newsfeed ads that I can help you with. Ad performance. I love this this phrase. Split testing is like sex in college. Everyone says they're doing it. However, no one is, and that's so true. And I've been guilty of that so many times myself. Frankly, the idea here is that you want to have multiple ads up, let them run for a day, and then see what's working and eliminate the things that are not working, and maybe replace them, maybe fine-tune them, or replace the image, or replace something. And you want to just keep testing and testing and testing until you find a winner, and then run with that winner. And Facebook, more than anything else out there, really gives you the tools to do that so easily, so quickly, and with as close to real-time data as you possibly can get. So split test is the lesson here. Now, I was going to talk about the Power Editor and what it is, but recently, since I developed this this webinar, Facebook has actually changed what Power Editor versus the regular ads placement software, the Ad Manager, does. And so Power Editor, while still kind of useful, doesn't necessarily have all of the extra bells and whistles that it used to have. A lot of the stuff has actually been migrated over to Ads Manager, and they've also just recently added this really, really cool thing called Audience Insights that I've been playing around with over the last couple weeks that I just think is the bee's knees, if you'll allow me to say that. In any event, Power Editor does allow a lot more in terms of bulk editing, creating custom audiences, and that's something that we are actually seeing some changes in with regard to what Facebook is allowing marketers to do. Custom audience-wise, and if you don't know what that is, when we get together to talk more about your Facebook campaign, I can explain that to you. And you can duplicate ads, and you can do other cool things in Power Editor still. And so I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but the fact is that there is a lot of great versatility in Power Editor that the regular Ads Manager that most people use really doesn't have. And so these are areas that I can help a small business as well in. And so that's pretty much it. We will be holding additional sessions over the next 2 weeks on both Google AdWords and on YouTube, and then I will be wrapping it all up next month with my email marketing webinar as well. So I thank you for taking some time to learn more about Facebook marketing. If I can be of help to you in any way whatsoever, whether you're just looking for a little bit of advice, whether you are interested in connecting and engaging me as a consultant, or you'd like to hire me to run your Facebook campaigns, please do reach out. You can reach me at david@baeronmarketing.com, or find me on Facebook, of all places, at facebook.com/Baer on Marketing. And thank you once again for visiting with me and taking some time to learn a bit more about Facebook marketing for yourself and for your business. And I bid you adieu. You have a great day.